The Iron Mask. The Iron Mask, what a wonderful package. The 3D version of this is a German-only release, and it's in the form of what they call media books. I wish these were everywhere. A great little picture book, and yet it keeps close enough to the dimensions of a regular Blu-ray, so it will sit well on a shelf with your other movies. Now, when you play the movie, the title that comes up is not Iron Mask, but The Mystery of Dragon Seal. And then it provides a hasty recap of V, which I reviewed a little while ago. And this is, in fact, V2, Journey to China, which is teased at the end of V. This was filmed in 3D. And from what I can gather, at least at this moment in time, this may be the most recent large-budget movie to be actually filmed in 3D. And what a beautiful stereo experience this is. The pictures are vivid, yet never broken. Nothing is ever off with the 3D. It's a perfect experience. This is a travel movie that gives you plenty to look at. There are several uses of chains and swords, and every scene takes full advantage of its setting to deliver a pleasing shot, consistently showing me what I want to see in stereo. Close-ups with features well-defined, roads that look like they go somewhere, and swords that feel dangerous. There are great shots surrounding this electromagneto guy who manipulates metal. The shots with him provide some of the most fun and, shall we say, classical stereo fun. I loved every moment with the guy. I also enjoyed the 3D from the first film, V, and reasonably expected that this would be similar. If you look up reviews of this film, it gets absolutely trashed. My expectations were in the basement story-wise, but as it turned out, I actually found it to be an enjoyable romp. The first V was a serious remake of a Russian folktale. This one is a tongue-in-cheek adventure story in the spirit of perhaps Gillem's Baron Munchausen, or Munchauser? With a few fight scenes worthy of Shang-Chi. Not every moment works, or perhaps it's lost in translation, but it's never confusing or not enjoyable. I suppose the Western packaging is a bait and switch. This is not a Jackie Chan movie. This is not an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. They have an enjoyable extended cameo, mostly in the beginning, and I can only imagine what political favors were traded to make it happen. This is an unabashedly a Russia-China love fest. The behind the scenes is in Russian with only German subtitles available, but it's heavy with interviews with Arnold and Jackie, and while they speak English, the music is mixed very high, so you have to listen carefully to understand. And if I'm not mistaken, Jackie at one point said Arnold was the mayor of L.A., and you do get lots of shots seeing the stereo camera rigs in action, and a very brief snippet of the guy responsible for them. He speaks in English, but they don't give him much to say. Now, just as an aside, I have never seen so many production company logos at the start of a movie. There are 10, and it takes nearly 2 minutes to get through them all. The accounting on this movie must look like a plate of spaghetti. Now, we start this movie with the telling of a fairy tale while the camera flies through these wooden carvings of the story. It's a great little way to get started, and it's a great little kid fantasy to shrink down and get inside of a model. Really love that opening. Now, soon after, we visit this jail with lots of fun wrought iron bars and plating that love to stand out in stereo. In a 3D conversion, this would still be a playground for the eyes. But the great thing about native shot 3D is the consistency of the perspective, and there's that slight twist between each perspective that I believe adds a vivid quality. It's also what makes it so difficult to do well, because if it's not aligned just right, that twist can also ruin a shot. But not here. This is a carefully crafted stereo show. Look at how well defined this close-up is, and it's done without compromising the point of view in the background. The company responsible, Stereotec, did such a wonderful job. I hope they get more big projects to work their magic on. As mentioned, I enjoyed this movie. No, the guys on the cover did not have major roles. Actually, no single person seemed to occupy what you'd call a lead role. It's the type of movie that's like a relay race, with the baton being passed from one character to the next. The cartographer from the first movie merely provides a bridge for events he's largely unaware of. Indeed, most of the players seem to be advancing the plot while having a personal motivation that was indifferent to the ultimate outcome. To a small degree, it reminded me of the 90s movie Shortcuts, that travels through strangers' lives and show how they unintentionally affect each other. There's also a strong theme of identity here, who we think we are versus who we need to be. It's interesting that those who do not have any identity issues are the Jackie Chan character, who maintains himself through his martial arts, and the cartographer, who is also forever grounded through his art. This is contrasted with a character that obtains the symbols of an identity, but ultimately fails because they don't reflect the true image of it. We can imagine ourselves to be anything, but ultimately we are what we do.